What's up everyone, my name is Mike, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about this Batman Series 6 black and white drop. I wasn't going to make a video on this, but I thought I'd go ahead and do it because this is what this channel is all about. I love Batman, I love superheroes, and if they're dropping on VeVe, I want to cover them no matter what I think about them. Let's get into this. So this Batman Series 6 black and white sees 4 different Batmans, 4 different rarities, 4 different list prices, none of them are FA, and this is really interesting because they are not dropping in blind box format, so you have your choice of which one that you want to go into and try to purchase. Now, personally, I think that a lot of them are going to go below list price in the aftermarket. So really choose wisely which ones you really want and are willing to spend for above market value for them. Here's why I think they're going to go below list price, and then we'll get into the different rarities, the different ones that are going to be dropped here. Essentially, a lot of VeVe collectibles that have been dropping, even if they are FA, are still going below list price in the aftermarket just because of the market that we're experiencing. Even if we try to compare these to previous collectibles of the same nature and you try to look at the list price, even those non-FA and those non-FE Batmans, black and white series, are still just above retail what they were for their list prices. Even with similar rarities, similar editions, we still see them hovering just above maybe 70 to 90 gems in the aftermarket, which is really troubling because those Batmans have had much more time on the market to solidify where they are and the popularity and the demand of them, so they are sitting nicely. But with collectibles that have been dropped during this prolonged downtrend of the market, we definitely see them going even further below what we can compare them to in the market. For example, just look at that Moon Knight drop. It is going well below market value right now. Not the ultra rares, they're hovering just above, at least for that Mr. Knight drop, but those Mr. Knight and Moon Knight commons are well below list price value, retail value. And I think we're just going to see a lot more of this happening, especially in this black and white Series 6 of Batmans that are not FA, not FE. They don't get any such stamp like that, and their editions are fairly high. Now, once again, we see the commons look like they are going to be the most popular in this series, and they get the highest amount of mints for that. I think the Batman sliding in is going to be one of the most popular to pick up, but I don't think it's going to go quite above market value. Maybe there's enough demand to satisfy that, but being that this is a VeVe screen that we've seen, I think a lot of people that are interested in VeVe in general are going to go for that one. Then we've got the Jim Lee common as well. Jim Lee's very popular, and I think that this one may be the next popular, or even the next one in this series. The Kenneth Batman, I think this is the one that I would go for if I was to go for any of these. I think it looks incredible. I really like the artwork done with it, but still not going to go for it. And then we've got the Raphael at the very end with the ultra rare, and I think that this one is going to be one of the least popular, but maybe it'll be satisfied with the demand, being that it has the lowest amount of editions for that. And we'll get into the list prices and editions for all of these. But I think that it's important here to really try to set a price prediction for these and decide whether or not you want to go for them right off the drop, especially since it's not a blind box format and you have to choose which one you're going to be purchasing. Like I said, since they don't get any FA, FE stamp, and considering their editions and how many series of black and white Batman and how much Batman we've had on the platform in general, really decide whether or not you're going to go for these. Like I said, my game plan is to actually not go for any of them. If anything, I will go for 1 or 2 of them in the aftermarket. I still think we've got quite the downtrend ahead of us with our collectibles on VeVe, so I'm just going to wait. Sometimes the best move is just to wait, see where the market is, and then decide to get into them. Even if any of these go above list price value in the aftermarket right after the drop, I think that's best case scenario really, but even in the weeks ahead, I think we'll still see a downtrend with our collectibles, and these will then fall below the list price value, and that's the time to then pick them up when they're less than what you can pay for them right off the drop. To be honest, I think these will not sell out. I think we'll have a lot more time to pick these up and decide, even once the market opens perhaps, if it even takes that long. Perhaps not. Maybe there's enough demand for these Batman. But really, when they announced another black and white Batman series, I was really hoping for some other characters, some FAs in this. That would have been really nice. Instead, we get many more Batman to add to the platform in a growing list of Batman. And that's not a complaint. I love Batman. Batman's probably my favorite superhero, my favorite character in general. And I love seeing different artist iterations of this. I just don't think it's for me right now at this current point in time with the amount of gems that I have in my wallet and that I'm willing to allocate to collectibles at this current point in time. Like I said, if I'm interested, I'll pick one or two of them up in the aftermarket, maybe in a couple of weeks time ahead. No price predictions for these because like I said, I do feel like most of them, if not all of them, are going to fall below their list price value. Let's talk about the different rarities and different editions that we see of this Batman in this series. We've got the Jim Lee Batman V3 with a list price of 40 gems and 16,800 editions. This gets the common in this series 6. We've got the Doug Batman with a list price of 50 gems, 12,800 editions, and gets the uncommon rarity in this series. Then we've got the Kenneth Batman at 60 gems for the list price, 6,800 editions, gets the rare. And then we've got the Raphael Batman, 90 gems for the list price, 3,800 editions, and the ultra rare rarity in this series. And one last thing that we need to talk about at the very end of the Medium article is really important to take note of. Going forward, all DC Direct series get that additional 6% licensor fee that we see with brands like Disney, Marvel. So this now adds up to 8.5% with the 2.5% VEVE fee included in that. And this is really interesting because DC is following suit with Marvel, and we are no longer in that area where we get 2.5% only for that DC Direct series. And this really interests me because this tells me two things. One, DC looked at what Marvel and Disney were getting through VEVE and really wanted a piece of that. Two, DC's interested in continuing with VEVE. It's been a while since we got a DC drop dating back to the Cover Girls Series 2, and perhaps maybe we may see more DC, much more DC content coming through in collectible format, maybe even comics. We can only cross our fingers for that, even though they'll be available elsewhere on the VEVE platform. And you could look at it one of two ways: down on the fact that now we have to pay 8.5% on DC Direct drops in the aftermarket when we sell, or the other way in terms of, you know what, VEVE still has a strong relationship with DC and we're gonna get more DC characters in the future on the platform, and this is great news for me. Let me know your thoughts, your comments in the comment section below. Like this video if you found it helpful for whatever reason, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching.